enjoyed the excursion to Pequeña Africa because I think it was such an important and recent history in Brazil with like the biggest slave trade in the Americas, and just being able to see that firsthand and see how it was silenced and see what people are doing nowadays. I think it was really interesting to be able to experience that, especially since a lot of the history hasn't really been taught anywhere else.
I guess for me, as someone who grew up speaking Spanish, I really just wanted to come to a new place and practice, of course, like a new language. So after learning Portuguese for 2 years, I was just excited to be able to practice with Brazilians, especially given that at Rice, I practiced with a lot of Brazilians as well. I guess everyone knows like the typical things about Brazil, like culture, like carnaval, samba, soccer, of course, or football. But for me, I was just really interested in making like connections with people. That's something I always try to do when I go new places. So for me, that was kind of what I was hoping for, and what I think I gained ultimately.
Well, I'm an architecture major, and learning a lot about the architecture here in Brazil from people that are Brazilian was really cool. Like learning that Rio de Janeiro was essentially supposed to be the first like Paris, like it has the plan of Paris. That was really cool. And then learning a lot about the history and culture of Brazil was also really cool. Well, I learned that I can be somewhat more resilient in areas that make me uncomfortable, because this is my first time traveling abroad and I didn't know what to expect. And to be quite honest, I would do it again. I feel like this was a very enriching experience and I would recommend it.
Just go. Ultimately, I think things you learn abroad are just unmatched on what you can learn. Like, even if you learn it from someone from that place, when they're outside of that place, it's very different from when you actually go. And so I would say you just have to go and put your feet in the water, go to the beach even if you don't like it, and you just have to experience it.
So growing up in an immigrant family, I think there's always been a lot of misconception and ideas about what it's like to live in Latin America, and I think I finally got to experience something like that, but in a completely different way, because it wasn't in a Spanish-speaking country where I knew a lot of things about. It was like completely immersed in Brazil and Brazilian culture. And I think that I learned that I am very strong and I can live in these places that I wouldn't normally live in.